Hi there, I'm Neil, also known as the Hairy Man, and today I'm going to talk to you about something specifically for the Empire system, but it's got crossover with a lot of other LARP systems. And I'm going to talk today about Phys Reps, which is short for physical representation. Now, there are some that you have to provide yourself, and there are some that Profound Decisions supply to you as part of your character pack. So an example of something that you might get in your character pack is something like these, which are the representations of your resources. So like this is a 5 units of Ambergelt versus a 1 unit of Ambergelt. And again, other stuff that I've dealt with in another video is the coinage edge that's supplied, but there are some things where you're required to provide a Phys Rep for it. So one of the examples of that would be with say herbs or potions. So this is my in character carrying case for herbs. So you can see here, this is a card for True Vervain. Now you'll see on the card, and I'll put a picture up on the screen, that it says that a Phys Rep is required. So this is just a piece of card to say that you have something, but what do you use as a Phys Rep? So there's as many different kinds of Phys Reps as there are kinds of people who are playing. So you know, some people will make a very elaborate Phys Rep. Some people will just use the most simple thing possible. So for example, with herbs, I've seen people sorry about that. I've seen people use things like this, which is like a muslin bag. I think this one, yeah, it's got lavender in it that they're using for like a packet of herbs. So combining that with your herb card, that's the Phys Rep. That's what you need to get things to work. Other people I know have used tea bags for herbs and other things in sort of like apothecary kits. So this is my sort of like apothecary potion maker kit. So in here I have sorry for rattling things around. I've got various jars of I think I bought a pack of really weird loose leaf tea thing, and so you can see there, and again I'll put some photographs up on the screen, and that those are the things that I use to represent herbs when I'm using the physician skill, or where I'm applying herbs. I might say, for example, use a physical representation of bandages, which I've got here. Got a little bandolier of bandages. So when I'm treating a person, I might wrap a bandage around them and then sprinkle some of the herbs inside the bandage as I wrap it round to Phys Rep, or physically represent me applying stuff to the wound. Now, one of the other things that you'll need to provide Phys Reps for is your potions. Now, potions come in two different kinds. You can get them as these laminated cards, and again I'll put a photograph of that up on the screen, or they can come as a just standard card like this. So most of the potions that you're going to use on a more regular basis are quite easily identified, so you don't have. So what you've got here is, this is a blood harrow filter, which is used for removing the venom effect, I think. Let me just check. Yep, it's to remove the venom effect. So this card here is very easily identifiable, whereas some other potions come in a laminated form, and what happens is it's got a description of it, and anybody can learn and what the potions, what the various potions look like. But what would happen is you've got the tab at the top that says rip on use, so you would rip this open and this would tell you what the role-playing effects of the potion that you're taking were. But in all cases you have to supply a phys rep or physical representation of that potion. Now on this one we've got little tiny bottle. Well, there doesn't seem to be, as far as I'm aware, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, and a minimum size of bottle or whatever. It just has to be a physical representation. So a lot of people like to take a small bottle on a thong or a chain that you can hang around your neck, particularly for sort of like those emergency potion. And it's like, so you know, if you're lying on the floor and someone comes up to you, you have to remember there is no unconscious mechanic in Empire. Even when you are dying, you are still able to talk. So you can shout to someone, quickly, I'm dying, feed me this potion around my neck. So you can do that. So other people, they may use a small bottle like this. This is just a small plastic bottle that I think contained an energy drink at some point, and I've just got some red liquid in there. Now, thing to note about potion physical representations, it's always a good idea to not drink the contents, because if you've got the potion from someone else, you don't know what they've made it of. You don't know if you're feeding one of your own potions to someone, what kind of allergies they might have. So it's more important that the potion is there and you do the appropriate role playing so you can pretend to take it and you can pretend to drink. And you can pretend to drink it and you can still get the effects because you're ripping up the card or opening the laminated pouch. So it's now tomorrow. And very much like friendship in My Little Pony, editing is magic. I've forgotten some stuff, so I'm going to talk about that now. Some of the other things that you need a Phys Rep in Empire are mana crystals and liao, which I have no idea how to pronounce. So mana crystals are a thing that is produced by a mana site resource, and they represent individual pieces of mana that you can either spend to cast a spell or to cast a ritual. Now, they don't have to be anything fancy, but you can make them as fancy or as simple as you like. Like a lot of people, just for the ease of carting them about, will use little glass stones like the ones I'm showing you now. And you know, they get used a lot, maybe for life counters in games like Magic the Gathering, or just decorative stones. And other people have been 3D printing really complex stuff with runes and stuff carved into them, but basically it's just something that has to be there in addition to the little piece of card that says, hello, I'm a mana crystal. And now, slightly different, liao, which is the purple powder used by priests, kind of an alliteration there. Now, this used to be supplied in little resin bottles by PD, but I think because there was so much of it kicking around in the system, they didn't have the it's not necessarily they don't have the budget, it became less viable to have casts of the bottles made, and so they went over to putting them onto cards. Now people have used all kinds of things for this. They've done sort of like almost tiny potion bottles of Ribena. Some Some people have sort of like crushed up Parma Violet sweets to make it, but again, it's however simple or complex you want to make your Phys Rep. And now back to our featured presentation. Other things that you would be required to have Phys Reps for would maybe be something like if you're performing the surgeon or physics skills. You can do that however you want. How you want to role play is up to you. It's like you can maybe put stones on them to balance their humours or chakra or whatever. You know, you could get tiny. You could put them inside a tiny stone circle, and sort of like use the healing power of the stones. And it doesn't matter what your role playing is. You know, you can spend time giving them a lecture on the virtues, and miraculously that will cause their wounds to heal up. A lot of people like to follow these sort of like pseudo medieval surgery route. It's something that I quite enjoy doing. So and I choose to use these, which are a cast sort of like semi-flexible resin set of surgeon's tools. Also, I think these are from one of the big European manufacturers. Now, obviously, these are not combat safe, even though I think this one is just within the 8-inch limit for actually counting as a weapon. So obviously you don't hit people with these, but you can sort of like move them around close to the body, and you can do your surgery and appropriate role playing. And some people, I've got some stuff left over from my days as reenactment, so I have this rather horrible, nasty looking bone saw, which obviously I wouldn't use on someone because it does actually have teeth in it, but you know, I could move it backwards and forwards above somebody to do the appropriate role playing and have a physical representation for my my surgical stuff. Then obviously there are other things that you can manufacture within the game, and if you've taken the artisan skill, then obviously you should have some kind of representation of what you intend to make, particularly if you're selling that and you're taking that to someone, because obviously, you know, you can be mugged, you can be relieved of your goods, and you know, it's just not as impressive to take your item ribbon and just hand over an item ribbon to somebody. There should be something. So you know, if I've made a weapon, I don't have any of the large ones, but say I've got this and it's a particular item, I would tie the ribbon round it, take it, and I would then have that with me. Then if I sold it to someone, I can go, right, there you go, and I can hand it over. I can hand it over in character, and then out of character I can go, right, okay, just take the ribbon off of that and then put it onto one of your own Phys Reps, because obviously you don't have to provide the Phys Rep for the item that you're providing. And sometimes I will. It's like if it's just like a small plastic bottle that's of negligible cost to me, and I'm making a potion for somebody, I may just go, look, just keep the potion or whatever. But you know, theoretically, the things that you're carrying that have a use in game should be there, because they can be taken from you, and you can also trade them. So you know, even if you have the thing that says is yes, I've got 2 doses of blade root or what have you, you should at least then have the physical thing to go, right, here is my dose of blade root. So as regards larger things that you might not have the representation for, it's like perhaps you got commissioned by someone as your artisan. It's like, oh, can you make me this this item, this great sword? It's like, look, here's a big pile of materials, and they'll hand you over all of these resin Phys Reps of all of the metals and what have you, and you take that, and it's at that point you go, don't have a two-handed sword. So what it might be helpful to do is they're probably asking you to make something that they've got a Phys Rep of themselves. So you could say, oh, can you just meet me in the outer character area and give me the Phys Rep of the sword that I'm making for you. Then I can put the ribbon on it. I can then bring it in and give it to you in character. So it provides a few opportunities for roleplay, but don't feel that you have to have sort of like a great sword, a spear, a rapier, or something that you can just hand over. Normally, if you're making something for someone, they've already got a Phys Rep that they can possibly give to you to just tie the ribbon round. And again, maybe for armour Phys Reps, I might bring sort of like a piece of armour, so something like this helm behind me I might use to represent part of a suit of heavy armour, and sort of like bring that in. Or some people just have like a big sack full of stuff that they will mind being really heavy, and they'll okay, there you go, here's your suit of armour in this bag. And then obviously the person that you're providing it to, they'll have the physical representation to tie the ribbon onto. And again, if somebody wants to mug you, waylay you, take it off you, then they have that bag that they can carry away with them. But what you want to use as your Phys Rep is really up to you. I mean, what I'm saying is just some guidelines and things that I've encountered in my far too many years of LARPing. And so there's a lot of stuff, and Phys Reps really helps to bring a little bit of life into the game. So to be able to see somebody sort of like going, right, okay, yeah, I've got that potion that you wanted here, or maybe they're even using like an egg timer to time themselves for how long it's going to take for them to use the surgeon skill on you. Just brings a little bit more in character things to it, to be able to sort of like take the herbs out of your doctor's bag, or what have you, and it's not really too much of a pain to carry a lot of stuff. I mean, one of the things I like is one of these sort of like bandolier pouches for carrying my herbs and stuff in, if I was to be going somewhere where carrying sort of like a slightly larger doctor's bag wouldn't be as practical. But so I hope that gives you some kind of insight into this, particularly if you're kind of like new to the live role-playing world. It's like, it can seem a little bit daunting when somebody goes, oh, you need to have your Phys Reps for your herbs, and your Phys Reps for your potions, and this and that and the other. It's really easy to fairly easily come up with something that looks the part, and will add a little bit to your role playing. And sort of like a little twist of cloth with some lavender in it, or even just a few different tea bag eggs. They all sort of like smell a little bit different, and doesn't take a lot of effort for something that really brings a little bit of extra stuff into the game. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll see you guys again soon.